Good morning and welcome to day 9 of the EDP Kitesurf Pro Cascais 2012. We saw some really good action yesterday afternoon and we got some heats underway, and it was nice to finally have some wind there, Ben.
Yeah, after a few days of waiting around and having some paddle outs and some surf sessions, it was definitely great to see that wind picked up. At about 1 p.m. people started getting antsy yesterday. I can't exactly remember if we were on AP on hold for that afternoon, kind of waiting for a minute by minute update from the beach to get those heats started. But I think it was probably in that 2 o'clock range that we were able to start and run a good number of heats until the wind sort of backed off a little bit. I want to say somewhere around 7 o'clock, but really the final call wasn't until about 8 o'clock last night, Sky.
Yeah, we kind of, the contest director sort of kept it on hold to the last minute until we knew for sure that the wind wasn't actually going to blow and we weren't going to get that last hour before dark to run some more heats. So, yeah, just sort of, we had the wind pick up and ran a bunch of heats off, and then conditions started deteriorating and they had to call it off and then call it back on again, and then we ended up going into a postponement at the end of the day, and then they ended up calling it off as conditions really sort of glassed off out there.
Yeah, and really there's, as we've been battling all week, the conditions with the wind have been in and out, a little bit spotty. But what we did have yesterday, again, we kind of had a unique situation in some of the heats we were running simultaneously, both the men and the women, to try, in the interest of time, trying to save a few precious minutes of wind and wave time.
Yeah, I mean, that was definitely a first that I've ever seen. We kind of came up with that idea together with the Riders Committee and with the contest director and head judge there to save time by splitting the judging panel and running those heats, men and women, simultaneously. And we ended up getting through a lot of heats in just a few short hours yesterday. So that was really good, and I know that everyone really wants to get a result here. We've been here for 9 days now, and we've had 2 good contestable afternoons. However, we haven't been that lucky with the conditions as far as wind. We've had lots of waves, but not a lot of wind, and normally it takes us about 3 full days to run our double consolidation ladder for both men and women, which is a great elimination ladder because it offers everyone 2 chances to lose and come back before the quarters, or up until the quarters, I should say. And from the quarterfinals on, it becomes a knockout system. But it really mixes up the field, and you get to do a lot of riding and really have 2 chances to come back, and allows you to really show what you can do out there on the water.
Yeah, and again, we're about, I don't want to say we have 2 full days, but we definitely have had 2 contestable afternoons. We probably still need another full day in order to polish this thing off and get a final result. And again, we have all day today, we have all day tomorrow. So we have our fingers crossed that we can get the conditions to come back in again. Waves haven't been the problem the entire time. It's just been the wind, and the forecast isn't the worst I've seen, but definitely we need a little good vibes sent our way. So any of you watching on our live stream, live stream.
Oh my God!
Our live stream, send some good vibes our way, the wind vibes. Do some wind dancing.
And I was actually.
So they call that the wind dance.
That was a good. Is that what that is?
It goes like this.
I didn't know that was I was actually taking a look at the forecast this morning, and for today, I mean, as far as that forecast is telling me, it's not looking great, but it looks like possibly tomorrow afternoon. And I know we need, I don't know for certain, but I think we need around 6 hours to finish up all of our heats. So in 2 days, 6 hours of wind shouldn't be too much of a stretch, but hopefully we can get some wind tomorrow afternoon and possibly even today. Who knows? I mean, they've been forecasting for wind, though, almost every day for the last week, and there hasn't been much. So today they're not forecasting for wind. Maybe that's a good sign.
We can only hope. As you see on our action cam here, looking at the lineup, it's a pretty mellow day, pretty mellow morning. But as we saw yesterday, as the tide sort of hits its bottom and starts to push back in, the waves were picking up as the afternoon went on, and it's amazing and not interesting, but it's pretty cool that we have a couple different perspectives. We have sort of a bird's eye view up here. This perspective is really easy to keep an eye on any rider and their kite as it kind of looks sideways into the lineup there. But then also being able to be down on the beach and get that perspective of what the wave height really is, if you're looking from this angle, it doesn't look quite as big as it is when you're out in the water, Sky.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, from up here, you just kind of get the overview of everything that's going on and kind of a pulled back angle. And then when you get down there on the beach and actually on the sand, you can kind of get some perspective and see how big some of those waves actually were. I'd say yesterday was, in the head-high range, but on that inside bank, the things were just dumping and kind of unloading on that sandbar. So we saw some great wipeouts yesterday, and people charging, trying to hit big re-entries and getting mowed down by the lip in that light wind, and that was pretty fun to watch. And we saw some great heats. I mean, standout for me was probably Gilly Brendel in his round 2 heat. Had some big turns, big hacks, and also Paulino Pereira, the local Portuguese rider, had a great heat. He rides here a lot. This is pretty much his home break, so. He was definitely charging yesterday, caught a ton of waves. He was a wave magnet in his heat, just catching waves left and right, and put on a great show for the home crowd.
Yeah, definitely. And we were able to run the last 3 heats of men's round 1 and also the first 5 heats of men's round 2 before we had a postponement there in that heat 14 between Nuno Figueiredo and Mauricio Pedera. That would be first up on the docket for today, assuming that the wind comes in for a rerun of that Heat 14. I believe we were 15 minutes in length. We were probably a little bit over 2/3 of the way through that heat, so unfortunate that the conditions failed almost on a right on time thing. It was sort of one of those things where at the beginning of the heat looked like there was a great wind, and then all of a sudden it just sort of dropped out of it.
Yeah, I mean, that heat started off with a bang, actually. It kind of, I think we were talking about Mauricio, being one of the bigger, heavier guys on tour. So that heat kind of started off. He looked like he was pretty powered. I think he was on a 12-meter kite and got a great first wave. I think it was something in the 6 range, something like that. And looked like that heat was shaping up to be a really good one, and then all of a sudden the bottom sort of dropped out of it and kind of went glassy, and that post-moment flag went up, and that was kind of, we were in a holding pattern, but never really materialized again, and that was kind of the end of it.
So again, we're still here. This is 10 a.m. update at the 2012 EDP Kite Surf Pro Cascais. I'm Ben Meyer, sitting next to Sky Solbach. This is your morning coffee. We have yet to pound down our allotted coffee ration for the day. We're still looking for a few of our interns and assistants to run around and pick us up a few coffees.
As I see one of them shaking their heads out there in the distance.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so this is 10 a.m. We're on hold. We are waiting for the riders' meeting to conclude and get word from our head judge and contest director about what the call is for the day. But based on what we see from up here, Sky, it looks as though we're going to probably postpone the next call. I would bet until the afternoon. As it's looking like there's nothing promising. Probably within the next couple of hours.
Yeah, I mean, the forecast, as we said before, is not for great wind today. Again, it's kind of anyone's guess here at Guincho with this little microclimate going on, but we will wait to get official word from the riders' meeting, which is taking place right now. And I believe we have a little wrap-up clip from yesterday, Ben?
Yeah, we do. We have day 8, sort of, it's day 2 of competition, day 8 of the contest. We have that wrap-up video of all of yesterday's action in case you missed it. You can as well access that video on the website, I believe, if you want to if you don't want to sit through, coffee talk with Ben and Sky in order to see the video. I believe you can just go straight to the website and watch that video.
Yep. So, that thing will get uploaded very soon, I believe, by our media crew.
So let's step away for a few seconds. We're gonna hear a few words from our sponsors, and then cut to our Day 2 of competition, Day 8 here at the EDP Kite Surf Pro 2012 Cascais, and we'll be back with you momentarily to discuss what we saw in the video and sort of some more recaps from yesterday's competition.
Today, when the wind starts, everyone just run to the water to train a little bit to feel the conditions, and they were hoping to do all the event today. And yeah, a lot of people did a good waves today, and we were hoping for a strong wind, but the wind was light, but enough to do some good hits. The conditions were just tricky because it was side on, the waves is strong, so you have to control a lot with the kite and to make a good wave and get into the critical session. Let's see tomorrow. I think it's gonna be a hope for some wind tomorrow, so we can finish the event.
Let's see you work it. Let's see you work it. Let's see you work it right. Let's see you work it. Let's see you work it. Let's see you work it. Let's see you work it now.
Welcome back to day 9 of the EDP Kitesurf Pro Cascais 2012. We just saw that wrap-up clip of yesterday's action, day 8, which was day 2 of competition, day 8 of the 10-day holding period here at Guincho Beach. Some great waves ridden, and we heard a bit from Paulino Pereira there, the local rider. He had a phenomenal heat yesterday. And
yeah, he had a great day, coming off a great day, and you could see that he wanted the competition to keep going. He was on a roll. He was passing some heats and wanted to keep this thing rolling as far as he could, as he was feeling it yesterday.
Yeah, for sure. He had some great waves in that heat, and looked like, I mean, I think everyone was struggling a little bit for power. The wind was light and conditions were kind of shifty and difficult, but he was doing really well to make it work and linking some great turns together and got some great wave scores.
And as we've been talking about sort of on and off as we've seen conditions sort of come in and out, and talking about this place in general for its sort of side onshore wind conditions, and when the waves are strong, as Paulino was saying, it gets tricky. It doesn't necessarily, it's a strange combination of being in the right place at the right time and kite flying, as we've harped on before several times, is that you can't sort of just get away with some of the stuff that you can get away with on a strong side shore wind that you can in sort of an onshore condition. You have to be a bit more careful of where you put the kite, as we saw yesterday and some of the other heats. Guys are putting kites down and girls are putting kites down in the middle of their heats.
It's really interesting to see different people's approach to how they ride the wave, and a lot of riders choosing to sort of down loop the kite and keep it sort of deep and below them in the wind window and keep tension on the lines. And it's not enough to just sort of park the kite and surf the wave as you would if you were approaching it without a kite and just simply surfing. So it's really sort of dynamic in the way that you have to kind of swing your kite and keep it in the right position to keep tension in your lines and focus on surfing the wave at the same time. So there's a lot going on, and some riders really able to make it work, others sort of struggling with that light wind.
And honestly, it's a separation of, I don't want to say talent, because there's so much involved in kite surfing in general, with wave knowledge, but it definitely kind of separates the guys who have the experience, either in competition or in certain situations. It's local knowledge helps, but there's a lot of our riders who did well in the last couple of days who ride in similar conditions somewhere else in the world. But having that knowledge and having that experience of a lot of time spent with their kites in the air, you could see it sort of be very helpful yesterday as conditions were challenging, and it kind of made you think a bit more about where you wanted to be before as the heats wore on.
Yeah, for sure. And you know, the Brazilians, I think, are a prime example of that. Those guys ride a lot of beach breaks down in Brazil, and you know, I think they have a lot. They also have strong wind, but I think they also ride a lot on 12 and 14 meter kites, and they deal with those sort of conditions a lot, sort of shifty beach breaks and light side onshore wind. So you know, those guys bringing a lot of experience to the table there with those kind of conditions. And another one that stands out is John Modica, you know, coming from Florida and riding his home break of Jupiter, which is also very similar conditions here at Guincho. He was doing really well to make it work. We saw him do some airs, some little reverses, and he was doing great in these conditions.
Yeah, back on his pardon me, back on his own gear as it was lost for a few days. I know he was psyched to get out there and be able to compete on his own stuff after his gear not showing up on the first day of competition. As we see, you know, the morning can be done with the morning calisthenics happening down here on the beach. A couple of our riders are down there hoping to join this guy in their morning calisthenics. He put a sign-up sheet in the riders' lounge that was packed. I think he's expecting 57 people down there this morning in a couple minutes.
Oh man!
Help everyone with their stretching.
And I think someone actually spiked our coffee here this morning, Ben.
Well, that explains it.
This is I don't know what this is. I think that's vodka in there.
No, it's cold.
I don't know. We just got a cold espresso delivered by our technical director here.
Oh my word!
Oh, I don't think we can drink that. That just smells like sickness in a cup. So.
Again, we are at the 10 a.m. update. This is Coffee Talk. We're about 23 minutes past the hour here. We did just get our head judge to poke his head in and let us know that we are going to put everything on hold until this afternoon. Sky 2 p.m. will be the next possible. Will be the next call. Next possible start 2:30 for the riders.
Yep, exactly. So they're going to put this thing on hold until 2 p.m. So just about 3.5 hours from now will be the next call, if my math is correct. I think so. So we don't expect any wind between now and then. By the looks of it, it's looking pretty mellow and glassy out there at the moment. Looks really fun for surf. The swell has dropped off a bit from yesterday, but still some really fun waves on offer out there. Currently a pretty low tide, so we'll wait for that tide to fill in and hopefully push a little more swell in with it, and perhaps even a bit of wind.
And that's not a bad thing, especially in the condition or in the wind condition that we've had the last few days. Actually, a little bit smaller of a swell would probably benefit us and enable the contest to run in maybe a knot or two less of wind, just based on a little bit less water movement pushing everyone towards the beach.
Yeah, and that was a huge factor yesterday. We had actually pretty strong wind. I'd say it was 15 to 18, possibly even more at times, but there was probably 4 or 5 knots of current pushing down wind through the competition zone, just due to the sort of size of swell that we had rolling in. So that made it, that kind of made it pretty difficult for riders. And even though, I went out on my 12 in my heat, and normally on that kind of wind I'd be really lit up on my 8, and I was kind of struggling a bit to find power. But I was pretty stoked to make it through my heat nevertheless. And I think we have an interview queued up here with one of our riders. We saw him do a nice little air reverse in that wrap-up clip of Day 8 we just watched, and his name is Patri McLaughlin, comes from Maui, Hawaii, and we will cut over to a little interview with Patri, and we will be back with you shortly.
All right, yes, I'm here with Maui's Patri McLaughlin. Patri, great to have you back on tour this year. So after being on tour last year, how did you change up your training to prepare for tour this year? Did you do anything different?
I haven't really been doing much different. I've been trying to go to the gym a little bit, but most of all, I've just been trying to have fun. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
good.
I've just been focusing on having fun, really. I think if you get too serious about anything, you're just not really enjoying it the same. So right now, my goal in life is to enjoy my life. So
nice. Positive attitude. Very
even
good.
here, I'm trying to leave the contest in the back of my mind and just have a good time. So
all right.
I don't know. I'm excited to see what happens.
Yeah, I can't wait to see you back on the water. So have you been doing most of your training on Maui over the winter?
Yeah, I've been on Maui a lot this winter. It's really good. It's not the best swells, but we had wind pretty much every day, so
Sweet.
I've been kiting quite a bit.
Nice. Do you have a favorite kind of set of conditions that you really feel like you excel in, that you can show your strengths? Like certain kinds of wind or certain direction of wave? Do you have a favorite that is your deal?
Yeah, I mean, so far my favorite place in the world is Mauritius. I mean, I'm a goofy foot, so the left and the barrels there, it's insane. You know, I haven't found anywhere else that's like it. So
Nice.
I'm really excited to get back there.
Sweet, yeah. Can't wait to see you on the waves there, and can't wait to see you on the waves here. Hopefully the wind fills in a little bit, and you can show your stuff, show your gym time.
I think right now, I mean, putting on all this extra weight's not helping me.
You'll work it off. You'll work it off. All right, thanks. Well, thanks for chatting, and I'm going to send it back to you guys in the commentary booth. Back to you, Ben and Sky.
Welcome back. We just heard from Maui's own Patry McLaughlin. As he said, just focusing on having fun, enjoying life, and getting out there and riding and just having a good time.
Yeah, pumping some iron. You can tell that guy's looking stacked.
He's been hitting the gym, man. Those biceps, boom. It's the gun show.
Yeah. No, it's great to hear again all these riders' perspectives as the show or as the week goes on. We're able to sort of introduce you to all of our riders and get a little bit of a background into their personality. And I know for me, as the more you get to know everyone, the more you root for certain people based on their stories or what their personality is. And it's great to hear from Patry. Is, you know, he's definitely taking the world in stride and life in stride. And I like to hear young kids for sure kind of have the outlook of just trying to enjoy life as being their number one goal. I like that. Like that what he said. It's a
for sure, and
great perspective to keep.
Yeah, definitely.
Young or old.
Definitely, and I know that he enjoyed traveling last year on the KSP, going to all those cool places we went to, and just taking in the sights and meeting new people, and most of all, you know, surfing good waves. I know, you know, Patry's been surfing a lot up and down the coast here in Portugal since he got here. Got some great barrels up at one of the other beaches just to the north of here when we first got here, so he was pretty stoked about that. And I spend a lot of time riding with Patry in Maui, and it's just a really funny kid, and just always frothing, always amped to get out there and ride. If you guys type his name into YouTube, I'm sure you can find. I think he did a video recently, which was pretty funny. So if you type Patry McLaughlin into YouTube, I'm sure that video will come up. He's talking a little bit about his training, which I think was batting at the batting cages there in Maui, shooting some hoops. And,
important cross training for kite surfing.
Very, very important cross training. Very key to his athletic performance.
Again, we are at 10 a.m. update. We are on hold until 2 p.m. First possible start this afternoon, 2:30 for the riders. We have been playing some recap videos of yesterday's action. We now have 2 days of action in the books. When competition resumes, we will start with an abandoned heat from yesterday on the men's draw, with which I think was heat number 14, which would be round 2. It's heat number 6 of round 2, between Nuno Figueiredo, the local Portugal rider, and Mauricio Pedreira, the Brazilian. A rerun of that heat, Sky, as conditions didn't allow it to finish that. And in the meantime, we're here. We're giving you the updates, dropping some science here in our booth, giving you a few interviews. And speaking of which, we have another one for you here from one of our riders. I believe we have Marie Gautron.
Yep, Marie Gautron from France. We have a little interview queued up with Marie, so we will cut down to this interview, and we will be back with you shortly.
Now I'm here with Marie Gautron, the Vice World Champion of 2011. Marie, you had a great season last year. You got a lot of it. You got a lot out of it too. Tell us a little bit about how that felt for you and what it's done for you.
In 2011, it was incredible for me. Good conditions and good rank. So I'm so happy about this, and it was really fun. So I'm really glad about this.
Yeah, you should be, and we congratulate you again. It was a great season, and we can't wait to see you again this season, following the whole tour, having your family here. Is your family going to follow the whole tour with you, or are you going to have to leave them at home at some of the events as well?
I have to leave them at home for some of the events because it's quite expensive for us, but I hope we're going to come together as a family in Mauritius again, because it was incredible for my family, and in Maui, because it's like a dream for us.
Okay, so that's basically the whole tour. I'm sure you will be able to bring them to Ireland. It's close and it's Europe. But being from Europe, being from France, I think you've really taken advantage of the great opportunities, media opportunities, and it looks like in France, the media loves you. You've had quite a bit of outside coverage there. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yes, it was really really good for the media coverage. Of course, you have Kite coverage like Stans or others, and I also had few coverage like radio for France Bleu Héros, and a famous magazine which is called Elle. This is a famous women magazine in France, so I'm really glad about this.
Well, I totally know Elle, and I'm sure a lot of people do, so that's really great achievement. Last year was your full season on an international tour, and obviously it was a great kickoff. Now this is going to be your second season. What are your plans for the future? What are your plans for this season, and then what's going to happen after this year?
So for this year I have to do really well if I want it to continue. So I will do all my best. I will give everything to do my best and represent my sponsors, and of course having fun, a lot of fun, because it looks like the conditions are going to be really great for the next week. So I hope we're going to have fun.
Well, in that case, of course, I wish you a lot of fun too. I can't wait to see you out there and be riding with you, and also enjoy the days without wind so far. Say hi to your family, and back to Sky and Ben.
We just heard from our female rider from France, Marie Gartron, a mother and a competitor, and just a great girl to have here, great woman I should say, to have here on tour. We saw her out there yesterday, I believe, ripping up some waves, and good stuff there from Marie. So what's going on, Ben? What can we expect for the day? Looks like a little bit glassy out there at the moment.
Looks a little glassy out there. Looks like we can expect a little bit of surf. I know I'm going to try to paddle out there and
catch a few little waves.
Catch a few rollers.
Take your boogie board out.
I'm going to boog around out there. And
right.
yeah, so again, just sort of wait around for a little bit, drink a few more coffees, a little bit more water, getting ready for the heats if they begin this afternoon again. 2:30 we believe will be the first possible start for the riders, but we will be back with a 2 p.m. update to let you know the current conditions, and as always, all the information for riders, heat draws, who ran yesterday, where all of your favorite riders stack up in the rest of the competition can all be found, I believe, on the right-hand side of your screen in the heat draws, which is that direction.
Yeah, that would be your other right, your other left. Yeah. So yeah, take a little browse.
It's left.
Yeah, you'll figure it out eventually. You'll get it. Yeah, so take a little browse around there on our live page. As Ben said, you can check out the heat draws. You can drop us a note there on Facebook, and ask us any questions, anything you want to know, or comments there. And
we're looking for ratings. 2 thumbs up is a good one.
2 thumbs up.
2 thumbs way up would be more what we're looking for.
More what we're aiming at. But make sure to scroll down there, like our sponsors, and just check the whole thing out, and let us know what you think, and make sure to check us out on Twitter as well. If you are not able to tune in to this live update later on today, we will be updating our Facebook and Twitter pages, so you'll be able to stay tuned with all the developments on Facebook and Twitter as well.
Exactly, and just to give a quick shout out to our sponsors, our industry sponsors: Underground, Nash, North, Cabrina, Ozone, F1, with a big up to Best Kiteboarding as being the title industry sponsor, again launching one of their new kites, the Cabo, here at this event, Wave Specific. You'll see their team riders on it. It's the bright, colorful. I believe all the ones we've seen here have been gray and orange and yellow, and a cool mix from a bird's eye perspective up here. So yeah, big shout out to those guys. Thank you. Without you guys, none of this would be happening. We wouldn't be sitting here. Our riders wouldn't be riding. And again, our other sponsors, title sponsor EDP, powered by nature. Great partnership to have here at this event because of their commitment to wind power and natural sustainable energy. Perfect partner for us kite surfers who also harness the natural energy that Mother Nature brings our way. Sky?
Yep, for sure. Great partnership there, and we are obviously stoked to have EDP supporting this event. We'd also like to thank the city of Cascais. It's been a great time here, and if you guys have never been to Cascais, you should come and visit it. It's a beautiful corner of the world, and just pristine, beautiful coastline, great surf, great food, great wine, great coffee, and just a great place to come and visit.
That's right. Good food, good buddies, good brews.
Good tunes, good brew, good buddies.
That's the sentence I was looking for. As you see on your overhead cam here, that's the furthest point, I believe, in Europe, sticking out in the Atlantic Ocean there, the furthest western point.
I believe that's the furthest, I think it's the furthest western point of continental Europe.
Really?
I believe.
Perhaps Ireland or Scotland sticks out there a little bit.
I think those stick out there a little bit farther, but I think continental Europe.
Could be.
We're going to have to check our facts there, but we'll get back to you on that.
We'll have to ask our friend Mr. Google and Professor Wikipedia. Perhaps they could help us out.
Exactly. So we will bring you an update on that later on in the show.
That's right. Again, just to continue our sponsor shout-outs, Nissan providing us with a couple of vehicles to race around town in and do all of our run all of our errands. TMN offering the internet stream, or not the internet stream, but the internet capability in order to bring you this live stream, which I know for us has been super fun to do, and we've been excited to have live action through our live stream, and we have such a great team behind us helping make this happen. I hope you guys at home have been enjoying the live action in the heats. I'm sure you're kind of, more or less on the morning show here. And any other banter and commentary that spews forth from our mouths, but hopefully you've been enjoying the live action as it happens. Again, I think the delay is maybe like 10 seconds, 15 seconds before you see what we're seeing out the window here. So can't be more grateful to TMN for that.
Yeah, for sure. That's been great to be able to bring you guys these live images. So huge thank you to TMN for running this fiber optic cable directly into our commentator's booth here to bring you all this live action. We'd also like to thank Telepizza for providing all of our lunch and food services here.
Don't tell me you're hungry. Telepizza.
That's right, Ben. And of course, Blondie Cafe for keeping us awake here during the morning show and getting us up and firing on all cylinders every morning to bring you this live webcast directly from Gincho Beach here in beautiful Cascais.
And Christine Buza, our athlete and tour president, just brought in a couple of slices of cake here, and we'd like to say happy birthday to our lead cameraman on the beach, Diogo Cardoso.
He's also the editor of that clip.
That's right.
You just saw it. He's out there filming in the sun and the wind all day and capturing all those images and then staying up late into the wee hours of the morning.
That's right.
To edit.
He's got enough sun out there. He looks like a bronze god out there.
Exactly. So happy birthday, Diogo, if you're watching. Yeah. And enjoy the day. And maybe we'll have a little bit of a lay day and you can relax a bit and enjoy Gincho Beach.
We'll bring you these espressos that have been spiked with something not so nice. For as soon as we come out of here, we'll go to your room and put down a few spiked espressos or something.
these things just smell awful. So I think
back to reality. We are back to our show. I think we have one more interview queued up with Sebastian Ribeiro, one of our heat winners of day one. Again, didn't get to compete yesterday as he had advanced through the first couple of rounds with that heat. I don't know if he was in heat one, but definitely round one win.
Yeah.
So he skipped a few rounds, and he'll still be awaiting to see what happens in that knockout round of the loser bracket, and then get ready for his heat, hopefully, which can go off later this afternoon. So let's cue up Sebastian Ribeiro, a Brazilian rider, and we'll be back after we hear from him.
2011 Peru Stops Up-and-Comer Rider of the Year. Sebastian, how's it going? How's riding been out here at Gincho Beach? You've been able to catch a couple waves and train a bit here?
Yeah, it's a lot of good too. The surf and kiting is good too, but the wind's not really good. But we got a good waves in the older spots, and we keep going training.
Great. Are you familiar with this coastline? Do you ride here a lot, or have you been here before?
No, I just have been here to connection to Cape Verde, to the Cascais in the last year, and I have family here, but I don't know how is the guys.
There's a lot of guys on tour here from Brazil. You guys are very talented.
Yeah.
Great country. Tell me a little bit about your home spot, your hometown, and what that break is like.
Yeah, I know. I have a lot of Brazilians in the tour, and I have Guilherme Brandão, 3 times world champion, and Mauricio's a big guy with strong turns,
Yeah.
and Felipe Ferreira is young like me, and the spot in Brazil is like this. The wind's like onshore and have a good ride, and have other spots like 1.5 hour to my house, and to the left, and it's good. The wind's like offshore, and Brazil I think is the best place to train it there, because I have two sides of the wind. You can go to the left or go to the right, and I think it's a good place to train.
Well, we can't wait to see you out there, and can't wait to see you on tour. You're very talented. You bring a great style, and can't wait to see you out there. Thanks for chatting with us, and I'll send it back to you guys in the commentator booth.
We just heard from Brazilian rider Sebastian Ribeiro there about his home spot and the conditions he likes to ride. Sebastian just blew up in his first heat, beating Guilherme Brandão, taking him down. Those guys, both good buddies, ride together a lot in Brazil and all over the world for that matter. And Sebastian, you know, that guy, man, he rips. We saw him out surfing the last few days. Great, super talented surfer. I think he was a competitive surfer for a lot of his younger years. And now crossing that over to the Kite and just absolutely destroying the waves out here.
Yeah, again, a perfect prime example of someone who's been able to take his surfing prowess and apply it to the kite surfing world. We're stoked that he's here. I know that it only helps the cause that the KSP Tour is trying to get across, and that you don't really need to do much of anything other than have a surfboard and a kite, and you can enjoy conditions that perhaps would be a little bit choppy, a little bit bumpy for surf, and can turn into fantastic conditions for kiting in the waves.
Yeah, and it's great to see all these guys like Sebastian and Pedro and all these guys coming from a surfing background that really enjoy being able to get out on a kite and ride in less than desirable surf conditions, but put up a kite and go out and rip onshore waves to pieces. And it's just really cool to see that crossover and to see guys that grew up surfing and come from a purely surfing background, and now that they're crossing over to kiting, maybe are even less interested in surfing, perhaps because they know that they can put up a kite when it gets windy and catch even more waves than they ever would in maybe even a week of surfing they can catch in a morning of kiting.
Yeah, as we sat yesterday and watched a little bit of the Fiji Pro ASP Tour. The guys who were on the inside were again having jet ski assist to get right back into the lineup again, and with kiteboarding we kind of have our own little tow system to get us right back out.
Exactly.
And again, it like just helps with that wave count, man. You don't even count them anymore. It's just sort of it was maybe 50, 60, 80 in an hour.
Exactly. You can sometimes, if you're lucky and they're spaced out, you can catch 2 waves of one set. You catch the first one, kick out, jump over the second, and hook onto the third one. And that's something that you can rarely, if ever, do when you're surfing. So you can just catch so many waves. You get so much time standing on your board, and it's so much fun.
Yeah, that's right. It's like a natural chairlift.
Exactly.
You can get out there and going back over and over again. And the wind is free, everyone.
and the wind is free. Exactly. You don't have to pay for gasoline. You just got to get yourself to the beach and harness the wind power and get out there and shroud up some waves.
That's right. Hopefully we'll see some shrouding happening this afternoon as we pray for the wind to come in and grace us with its presence so we can begin the heats. And again, as Sky was saying, as you were saying earlier, about 6 hours is what we need to really have a solid shot at wrapping this event up. And again, it stays light here till after 9 o'clock. So we'll probably be on hold for a good part of the day. If our 2 p.m. update comes and goes and we don't have any wind, I would assume that we'd be on a holding pattern for most of the day.
Yeah, so we'll just wait and see how this weather develops throughout the afternoon. The next call will come at 2 p.m., as you can see in the top right-hand corner of your screen there, as Ben is so kindly pointing out there. You got it right this time. There you go.
That was smooth.
That was perfect, man. That was great. So we
Watch
will.
out, away.
So we will see you back here at 2 p.m.
Can I buy an E?
Sure, man. You can buy me a coffee. How about that?
Okay.
All right. So we will see you guys back here at 2 p.m. For the next update. And until then, I'm Sky Solbach.
Ben Meyer.
And we are signing off from day 9 of the EDP Kitesurf Pro Cascais. We will see you guys in a few hours for the next call.
Have a great morning, everyone.
We'll be right back.